big cup past a cheetah, yep, on a mic.
Alright. Press record, flow naturally, I'm riding a bike.
Alright. Send a DM to someone I like, come on, be a guest.
Alright. If it's just Chang and Hoff, it's a yapping duet. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chang Hoff podcast. We are here, joined by our lovely guest, Leah Ivelise.
Hey.
She is a musician. She is a barista, and overall just cool gal. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Today's gonna be a good one. We were just making a banger song.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing it up.
Yeah, me too. It's a good vibe. I was a little nervous, but it felt so comfortable with you guys. So
thank you.
Excited for the world to see.
Yeah, me too.
We're making a song. We got the form. We got the structure.
Yeah.
We're working on the words a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Trying to find our narrative.
we've been at it for a while. We've been.
Yeah.
We're honestly getting a little delirious at this point.
Yeah. The pod started about 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
We just started recording now. So.
This is just part of the creative process.
Yeah.
So Leah, welcome.
Thank you.
So what would you say is your instrument of choice? Which one is your bread and butter?
Definitely guitar. I've always played guitar. The only one that's like, I don't know. I've been playing bass more recently, but I would never call myself like a bass player.
Why
not? I don't know.
I think you are.
Know. Okay.
You play bass.
You know what? And so I'm a bass player.
Yeah.
I'd say a guitar player, a bass player, like singer. I've tried to learn drums, which I think I could get good at. It's just a matter of like having access to them. But it's really fun. Like all the times that I have played, I really enjoy it. So I'd like to do that more. But I'd say guitar. Guitar's like my main bread and butter, if you will. Yeah.
And how long have you been playing guitar for?
I got my first guitar when I was 12, I think. And it's always kind of been more of a vessel for me to like do covers and stuff. I feel like I really started taking it more seriously and trying to learn more like this past year. I like started a school band, and that got me like performing more, and I think it like also sparked a desire to like learn the instrument more too. So yeah, a good while I've been playing guitar.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You guys just did a little show together at a ceramic pottery studio opening.
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Shoutout St. Pete Ceramics.
Yeah.
It went really well, I thought. We rehearsed kind of low-key once.
It was fun. We had about an hour of rehearsal a few days before.
Yeah, like Jack and I had done like a little rehearsal, and then we all did one, and then me and you kind of had just like a little jam of playing a couple songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the show happened. And I think it went well for like what it's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
I love the way that guitar sounds. I don't know what kind of, you can maybe tell the people about this guitar because I don't know how to describe it, but
it's a Gretsch. I don't even know the exact like model of it. It's a nice forest green color, and it's like, I don't know, it's beautiful. It's got like a really rich sound. That guy the sound guy that was helping us out, he played it afterwards, and I thought it was like awesome. Like I wanted him to play longer, but yeah, it's a nice guitar. There's a few things wrong with it that I got to get fixed. Like I have it on the lowest pickup, but it sometimes just doesn't work, and I don't know what that's about. So I kind of got to take it in and I don't know, get it checked out. Right when I got home with it, the whammy bar like fell off. Oh. But I don't really use it, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, it's a nice guitar.
It is a nice guitar.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
But
Thank
that
you.
was a fun gig. We played some covers, learned some songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to write some stuff.
Me too. Especially after today. I feel like today's been like it's just been nice. I feel like I don't often write with people. This is like my first real experience of like trying to write lyrics with people, and it's been cool because I feel like I get so trapped in like I just overthink creating music too much, and I feel like it helps to be with others to like let go of the pressure of it all, you know what I mean? So, and just not take it too seriously. So, it's been fun.
I've been very excited and humbled by the experience of making music with people here in this studio, because that is like a common sentiment that a lot of people have. They're like, they come here and we make a song. They're like, that was so much fun. Like, this is such a good environment to just be creative and make some music. And that really brings me a lot of joy and happiness. So I'm glad that you felt the same.
Yeah, it's cool to be like creating a space for it. You know what I mean?
And we're making good music too. Like, I'm really into it. This song is way different than anything else on our mixtape so far. So I'm really excited for it to get like flushed out and for it to come to fruition at the end of the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had no idea like what was gonna come out of today, like genre wise, or like we didn't come into it with any thing really. And then Jacob, should I say what the prompt was?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't really know if it matches the prompt now that like we've made it.
Of the
prompt was Mac DeMarco meets Claro.
Yeah.
Which was a great prompt, and I think it led us somewhere, but it's not really that. But
that's
nonetheless, like it, it pushed us along.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all it's for. It's like just to have some sort of foundation to go off of, and then we can go from there. Because I feel like trying to start making a song or making anything just from scratch is very daunting, because there's just so many different possibilities that you can go with. So having some sort of prompt, having some sort of foundation, I think is very fun. And that's what I like bringing to the table, because I don't do the production. I can't play instruments or anything. Like, I write a little bit for the songs that we do, but overall, like, that's I feel happy as that is my contribution.
Yeah, I feel like you're good at that. I feel like you have a very creative mind where you can think outside of the box a little bit. I feel like, I don't know, it was nice to like lyrically like just talk about like what we want to say like all together, and like how we can all kind of come to a common thread of feeling and experience, but also have it mean different things maybe to each of us.
Jacob's
you know what I mean?
The instigator.
Yeah.
Like we'll get stuck somewhere and he's like, just do that.
Yeah, exactly. What if it was like this? Yeah, it's good to have that, like,
executive producer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's me. All right, so Leah, what is something that you're really into that not a lot of people know?
Oh, that's a great question, Jacob. I've never thought about that. Oh, I mean, I used to be super into photography. That's like what I wanted to do before I realized like I wanted to be in the music industry. I originally was in school only for a year, but for digital media SPC. I really wanted to like do videography, and I was already into photography a lot. I would like take people's grad pictures in high school and like do little photo shoots, and it was fun. So I think, and that's something I want to get back into just as a hobby, not to take it seriously or anything, but just to, capture stuff just for fun. So probably photography. I really like photo editing. That was always my favorite part of like doing shoots or taking pictures, is like editing the pictures after. That's like my favorite part, I think. So probably that. I feel like I don't talk about that a lot anymore, which is fine, but now you guys know.
What kind of videography were you into? Like, was there a certain style or like a certain,
I don't know, like kind of like B-roll stuff of just like
scenic,
just like random clips thrown together, or like I like film wise, I was like, maybe I'll become like a director of photography and I'll be like the cameraman for films and stuff, which would still be cool, but it's not where my passion lies anymore. I don't know if it ever did. I think I just like thought it was cool, and at the time I didn't really fully know what I wanted and like what felt right. But now I do know what feels right.
Yeah, it feels right what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like the most like natural and aligned. I'm very happy that I'm doing this now, pursuing music, pursuing sound. It's a good thing.
Was there a moment or a thought or something that was the final straw that you decided to change what you're doing?
Kind of. Like, I think, like I said, I always kind of played guitar and, like, did covers in my bedroom and stuff and would post them. But then my friend Jazz, shout out Jazz, he asked me to, like, be on a song for him, like, sing on a song, and I kind of half wrote it together, and that was the first time I ever, like, wrote anything, like a song or anything. It's the first time I wrote ever in life. First time I wrote a sentence. No. It was the first time I ever, like, tried to write a song, and it really, like, it just opened my mind up to it. I never considered it. But it was really, like, inspiring, and I got, like, I don't want to say I got addicted, but it just was, like, a really, like, the first time I think I felt like, whoa, like, this is something I did and I'm really proud of it and I want to do it more. So I really feel like that was, like, a turning point for, like, me creatively. Like, it opened my mind up. So and then we made more music together, and he was, like, producing my stuff, and it was good. It's been,
Is that song out?
It is out, yeah.
What is it called?
It's called Somebody, under Leah Ivelise, and Jeffrey 2008, but it's in Roman numerals, so Jeffrey MMVIII.
That's a good one.
That's the song.
That's awesome.
It's very, like, I don't know, poppy Chainsmokers vibe, but it's fun. Like, it's fun. Yeah, that was, like, I think that was the point where I was like, oh, this feels good. Like, I mean, I wasn't taking it that seriously at the time. I was still in school for digital media, and then I took a break off of school, and then I went back in this past year and a half into the music program at SPC. And luckily I already had, like, most of my gen eds done from doing like, starting in digital media, so most of the classes I had left by the time I went back into school were just, like, the main program classes. So I think those core, like, gen ed classes are I've never been a scholarly person. Let me be real. It's just not my thing. But when it's interesting classes that, you know, I just feel like I can engage more and be more, like, focused on it. So, yeah.
So from photography to music, do you feel like you've always been creatively inclined? Like, doing something creative with your brain is, like, what has kind of attracted you?
I think so, yeah. I feel like I'm definitely, what are the different types of brains? Type A, type B? Left brain, right brain? I think I've always been a right brainer. I don't know. I'm not a very...
Would you say you're a type B right brainer?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. Yeah, I think I did, like, theater all 4 years of high school. I feel like before that, the most creative I was just kind of playing guitar and, like, singing, but I feel like it wasn't, like, I don't know. I feel like up until high school is, like, or starting in high school is when I started actually applying myself to, like, just applying myself creatively. I did theater all 4 years of high school. I did sound, which is funny because I didn't think I was gonna, like, pursue that, but it kind of came full circle. I didn't take it too seriously at the time, and it was also, like, there wasn't, like, a teacher in our theater program, like a tech teacher or, like, advisor. It was just passed on from students. So I only really learned as much as, like, the senior before me taught me, and then everything else was just kind of, like, picking it up and, like, trying to figure it out. But anyways, yeah, and I'd, like, student directed a play, and, like, I think I've had it in me to be creative, but I think I only really started, like, engaging in it, like, high school and on.
At that time, did you think you were going to pursue theater, or were you already thinking photo, video, or where was your head at that time?
My head was definitely at, like, photo, video. I hadn't really considered it to, like, pursue theater. I really liked it, and I still do. Like, even now, like, I would be a sound engineer for like a theater venue or a theater venue. That's kind of crazy, guys. For a theater, period. But yeah, my mind was definitely like photography, video. Yeah, not so much theater, but I did really enjoy it when I did it. But yeah.
So going out of high school, then you said you went into school. How did you choose that? What you ended up going to school for, especially coming out of high school, like doing theater and like being interested in photography, and then going into photography, like and then changing over to music. How did you feel about that progression?
Well, I feel like honestly I feel like that's just the only thing that made sense at the time. Like I never had I wasn't a person that was like, what am I gonna do after high school? Like, what's my plan? Like, I wasn't too concerned. And also I graduated 2020, which I think is important to note. So I really wasn't in a space of like caring, quite frankly, like caring what I was doing. So it didn't feel like such a big choice of being like, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm going to go to school for. It was just kind of like, well, right now this is what I'm interested in. So I'm just going to do this. And then I took a break off of school just because I was like not doing well in it and it just didn't feel right. So I took like a year and a half off, which was really good for me. If you feel like you need to not be in school, do it. Don't care what people say, because it's just frankly not the right time for everyone to go straight from high school to college. And I think taking the time that you feel you need is really important, and that's I don't know. I think that's going to help you succeed if you take the time that you need. And for me it did, like, cuz I took a break, and during this break I was just working full time at a coffee shop, and I felt really content with that. Like, I wasn't regretting the fact that I wasn't in school. I was just able to fully focus on work and just whatever else I wanted to do, which I think helped me. And then I got to a point where I was like, wait, I want to go back to school. Like, I'm really wanting to like learn more and like learn my craft and understand it more. So yeah, I did what felt right. I feel like I've always just kind of done what felt right. I just try to follow my gut a little bit, even though sometimes that can be confusing and maybe I don't know what I want, but I don't know. I followed my gut with this one, and I'm glad I did, because I'm happy.
That's good.
I'm happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
It really reminds me, when I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher, her name was Miss Zayas, and she said something along the same lines that like really changed the trajectory of my life. Like, I still remember this to this day, and it was something so like basic. It was my 3rd grade teacher. So like, what are you doing in 3rd grade, right? But I was taking a test and I was like struggling with this, and she came up to me and she was like, oh, like, what's going on? And it's like, I just can't pick between these two. And she said, just listen to your gut. It's most likely right. So, and I don't know, that really just like at the time blew my mind. I was like, wait, I can just like listen to what feels right.
It's true.
And
it's so true.
Just changed everything for me from that point. So Miss Zayas, if you're watching this, thank you. I love you. Thank you for changing my life with that one simple quote.
Changing children's lives one student at a time.
So coming out of high school during 2020, a very confusing time for a lot of people.
Yes.
But especially for someone graduating high school and like going on to college, how did you feel about leaving that and becoming like an adult and an independent person? Because at least for me, I feel like that's when that really started to kick in for me, was when I graduated and I started, living on my own and having to do all this stuff and like really trying to become a functioning adult. So how did you feel about that?
For me, I don't think that happened right outside of high school. I feel like I was pretty like lost and just kind of going through the motions of everything. I feel like I've I feel like I really started to like settle into adulthood like in the past like 2.5 years, to be honest, like where I just feel more stable and like I have like more of a drive to be pursuing something specific, if that makes sense. Yeah, I moved out not right after high school. I moved out like I don't even know, 2022, I think. I started living with my best friend, her boyfriend and sister, and I feel like having that space outside of like living with my parents, that's like when I just started to like, you know, build my own routines and like really have to, I don't know, pay attention to what I was doing, if that makes sense. And even more so, I feel like I'm still like living in the house I'm in now that I moved in December, and like my roommates in Evangeline, Queens, like even more
Queens.
so, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like specifically living in this house, I'm like finding myself in adulthood and like understanding who I am and like things that I want and people I'm surrounding myself by has been big. I feel like I'm really finding like a good foundation and like a good community, and I feel like that's just further kind of excelling my place in adulthood. So yeah, that's a great question, Jacob. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for answering. Thank you for blessing us with that.
Yeah.
I feel the same way because obviously we're in the same friend group.
Yes.
And
yes.
definitely I feel the same, that sense of community and that sense of belonging now has really like done a lot for my life in recent times. So very grateful for all of that. Very grateful for you, and grateful for your the St. Pete gals, just everyone at Mahjong night, all the friends, and it's just really opened so many doors and my eyes to like, you know, what's really going on out there.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's like a good time. I'm having a great time.
Me too. I feel like it's just so genuine, and it feels very raw, and like, I don't know, we all just care and support each other. And it's really inspiring. It's yeah. In all ways, it's good. In all ways, it's good. And always, it's good.
Yeah, there's not a lot of downsides.
It's good
to it.
always.
Yeah.
And good, it's always. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate how uncommon that kind of situation is, where I think most people in their day-to-day life, you know, you're in your car by yourself, and then you're, you know, at your job or in class around other people, but, you know, people do their own thing. Like, people are kind of to themselves or to their phone or to their, so getting to spend, like, a decent portion of a day just with a group of people.
Like, good people.
Is nice.
Yeah. I feel like especially, like, post-pandemic, I was talking about this recently with, like, a customer that came into Sourdough. No plug there, by the way. When I into my work.
I'll bleep it out.
Bleep that out. What? Oh, okay. Like, yeah, I just feel like post-pandemic, post-COVID, like, people, speaking from my experience, I feel like I got very, like, socially anxious, which I'm not, I've never been completely like that, and I feel like I really just didn't know how to talk to people, and I was, like, trying to navigate this new reality of, like, and I feel like other people were, like, feeling the same thing. At least that's the energy I got from people. It's like people just didn't want to connect in the same way that it feels like we used to. But that's what being inside all the time will get you, you know?
Absolutely.
Surrounded by four walls.
It's weird. I feel like pre-COVID, I would consider myself an introvert, but through that whole process of having to isolate, I kind of, like, I think I became extroverted, or at least I got a big desire to just want to be more social. I think especially because the timing for me was, at that point I was 2 years into college and, like, had a lot of fun meeting people and making new friends, and then all of that just stopped, and everyone either moved home or, like, like I had friends that didn't live in the U.S., so they had to move back to whatever country they were from and like drop everything. And then like I just really missed meeting people and interacting with people. So it gave me like a drive to get more comfortable interacting with people. Yeah. And then I like as things got to open up, I kind of became a good bit more extroverted.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
I feel the same, especially because when the pandemic happened, 2020, I wasn't in school, and so I was just working. But the job that I had at the time was considered an essential business, so I still got to keep my job, thank goodness. And I don't know, it just like sparked a moment for me where I was like, oh, I can change, like I can just do something different. So that's when I decided to move to California. It was like middle of the pandemic, and living out there and like becoming an adult and like getting into my own routines, like you said, was a game changer for me. And I really enjoyed my time in California, but it was very lonely. Because for a bunch
people,
I did. I have a bunch of really good friends in California who I love and I still talk to on a regular basis, and I still have family out there, and I really miss my time out there and like my space. But it was a good time in my life, but definitely still very isolating because, you know, pandemic problems, and also just like the culture in California is a lot different than to Florida.
I hear that a lot.
And I felt, at least the people that I was surrounding myself by, it was kind of superficial a little bit. So it felt hard to connect with people. So the people that I did meet that I was able to connect with, I held on to really hard. And that flourished into really great relationships. But also at the time, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, because that was like before I was doing therapy and before I was on medication. And so I was just raw dogging life, which my brain did not like. So I was doing great and I was becoming an adult, but I still felt very lost. And I remember doing this like personality test, this Big 5 personality test, and I ranked really low on extroversion. So I was pretty introverted. And I felt like I vibed with that. I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm pretty introverted. Like, I do like hanging out with people, but I do feel my social battery dies towards the end of the night. So I was like, yeah, this makes sense. But I just retook that test a few months ago. And, like, let's say like 50 is the middle, right? I scored like a 30 before. So, like, I was more introverted. But now I went the opposite way. And now I'm at like 70. And where I feel like it said that I'm more extroverted, and I do vibe with that now as well. So
I think it's all just like what you're surrounded by, your environment, like the things you're doing, like so much plays a part, you know.
I really like being out and about and hanging out with people and doing stuff, so I do feel myself being more extroverted, which is very nice. And especially now because we have such a great group of people to be surrounded by.
Freaking awesome.
And also coming back to Tampa, I feel very like grateful and blessed because leaving and then coming back, I realized like how much I really love this place. Because before I was like, oh man, I hate Tampa, I can't wait to leave. And then I did, and I was like, yeah, this is great, like my hometown sucks. But then coming back, I decided that was not true. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff here in Tampa, and I love it, and it's home. Family, friends, all of it. And it's really given me an appreciation for the place that we're at right now, and I'm really excited to be a part of it and try to do my best to grow some sort of community here, like help this area flourish in a positive way.
For sure. I used to feel the same way. Like, I was like, I lived in Virginia Beach and Puerto Rico for like half my life, but I was born here. So sorry guys. We moved like every year.
I was in Virginia Beach and I went to
How do you feel about that? So
you're doing crowd work.
First time doing a podcast.
It's okay.
So when we moved back here, I don't want to say I was apprehensive, but I don't like heat, and I didn't.
What does that mean?
It stopped recording.
Ooh.
So just hit it again.
I think it's dead.
Oh, just press the button. Try to see.
No, it says charge the battery.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's dead.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know. I think it's also different when you're young, like a teenager. I feel like I just didn't have the opportunities to be like experiencing what this place holds and stuff. But as an adult, I'm like, I love St. Pete, and it definitely is home. I feel like I've spent my most formal years here. So I love it. Like, I wouldn't live, and I've always said this, I wouldn't live anywhere else in Florida besides St. Pete. It's just nice. I think I know it. It's familiar, and there's something special about it. Like, I don't know. It's just, community is great, and I feel like it's so friendly, and it's a nice place, you know? So.
It's really beautiful in St. Pete as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely the
homey.
most scenic place in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like downtown St. Pete, the beaches,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
close,
you kind of have
close
access
second
to
is-
everything. Like,
yeah.
it's cool. You can almost drive any direction. You're gonna hit a beach. You're gonna hit some water.
You're gonna hit
some water.
You might not even have to drive to hit some water. The water might come to you.
Yeah, and
Depending on the
you
weather.
know what? Let it.
Yeah.
Okay, but living in California, are there things that you feel like you got out of that, or that like
Oh yeah.
did help you or teach you things?
Oh yeah. So in California, right? that was the first time living on my own. I moved straight from this room, this house, straight to California. I moved into a bedroom that this professor from UC Irvine was renting. Shout out Karna.
How'd you find that?
Facebook Marketplace.
Let's go.
Yeah. Shout out Karna. That was like very great for me. And being like right on a campus, like on a college campus, was very nice because like I could be surrounded by other people who were roughly my age. And although I didn't make any friends or like meet any people from UC Irvine, it just felt like a good place to be.
Right.
I did really like a lot of things about California. Like the nature is very beautiful. The part that I was living in was more Southern California. It was very nice, and I liked the culture there more than like closer to LA. I didn't spend a lot of time in LA, but I really like Southern California, San Diego. I loved it there. I spent a lot of time alone, which was very good for me because I feel like I found out a lot about myself through that time. Because, of course, you know, I was just a teenager. I was only 20 years old. So, well, I guess I wasn't a teenager. I'm 20, but you get what I mean.
I was just a young lad.
I was
young, fresh 20.
I was a youngin'. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know where I wanted to go, but I knew that I had to do something.
Yeah.
So this was my something. So I spent a lot of time alone, just like exploring California, just figuring out who I was as a person and what I wanted to do, and meeting friends. And my friends that I did meet, they were initially I met this one guy. He was my coworker, and he was a little bit older than me. I think I just turned 21, and him and his friends were like 25, 26. And so when I turned 21, they like introduced me to like partying and clubbing, which is something that I never really had an interest in doing because that just like wasn't me. But you know, I turned 21, now I can drink and now I can go to the clubs and whatnot. So like, why not? So that was also very formative for me, was like being able to go out and party. And they were super generous. Like they never made me pay for fucking anything.
Let's freaking go.
Always paid for my drinks, always like took me out. If we went to San Diego and spent the night, they would get the hotel. They wouldn't ask me for anything. I mean,
so
like
nice.
the best guys ever.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, guys, I love you so much. I'm going to go see you in December. And so I learned a lot about myself there, and I really enjoyed my time. And so coming back, I felt a new sense of like what is possible.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. And still coming back, I was still lost. Did not know really what I wanted to do, but at least I knew that there wasn't a lot of situations I can think of that I wouldn't be able to come out of, that I couldn't handle. So I came back with a new, better sense of confidence in my own abilities to be able to handle just the woes of life, you know, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, I think there's this, like, I'm hearing this in common between y'all's stories, and I definitely identify it, where at some point you transition to a stage in life where everything is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just realize that you make all the choices, and it's, like,
Right.
completely up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's so scary at first.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
But then if you can start to kind of pick the life that you want and, like, find the places you want to be and the people you want to be with.
Yeah.
And then I think especially for me, it's been learning that, like, oh, I don't have to do it all on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the choices are ultimately up to me, and the responsibility to take care of myself is ultimately up to me. But, like, you can always ask, and you can always communicate your situation to people, and, like, talk to your friends and your family.
For sure.
Because, like, people want to help you,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, the people in your life care about you, and they want you to be where you want to be.
Right.
And a lot of times it doesn't even really cost anything to help someone. Like, it feels good to do it. It's energizing to do it. Like,
Yeah, people
might
enjoy
be-
it. I feel like that's hard to beat sometimes, you know, in your head of, like, asking for help, you know?
yeah, like your coworkers that would take you out and pay for stuff. Like, I'm sure for them, you know, they got bored of just doing the regular thing, and, like, you're getting to, like, go out and do these things for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like showing your friend a movie that they've never seen, and you're like,
Yeah.
we're watching it for the first.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's so true.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a good
And
time.
at 1920, you were in Berkeley College, correct?
No.
Wait, what?
No.
Where were you at
I went
20?
to Northwestern University.
Oh, when did you go to?
I didn't
did you-
go to Berkeley.
What
no.
the hell? Were we
No.
not just talking about this earlier?
He just knows a lot of people who went to
No,
Berkeley.
I was really scared of.
Okay.
A lot of people were pushing me when I was graduating high school to go to music school,
yeah.
because I was, like, playing instruments and stuff.
Right.
But music school was terrifying to me. I didn't want to, like, just the idea that you could have a bad audition
Mm.
and then it's just kind of over.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. So
Mm.
yeah, I went to school for computer science.
Yes.
Originally, I was gonna do dual degree music composition and computer science,
Mm.
but I had some friends doing dual degree and they didn't have lives. So I didn't want to spend 5 years not having a life.
Yeah. Smart choice.
Yeah, so I studied computer science, and then pretty much all my free time outside of my classwork, I would play in bands. I played in some musicals. I produced for some artists and some rappers. I went to a lot of shows in Chicago.
Let's go.
I spent all my money just going to Lincoln Hall, going to Riviera Theater, going to wherever.
That sounds awesome.
But yeah, and then I did that. I took a couple breaks. There was a couple points where I just got to a point where I just couldn't continue, and I just had to take a break.
Yeah.
But yeah, did that. I think it's kind of like what Jacob was saying earlier, like just going to a new place and figuring out everything, and meeting people and learning the area, and, like, kind of gives you a confidence of, like, oh, I can do that, so I could
For
do it
sure.
somewhere else, or I could, you know.
Yeah. I'm sure even just the change in environment, you know.
But yeah, but spending
Changes.
a good bit in Illinois and then coming back here, I definitely have appreciation for the weather.
Mm.
I have appreciation for, I think, just the weirdness, you know, just the weirdness of Florida and
Yeah.
of Tampa. Like,
It can be a little kooky.
yeah, I like to get a little kooky.
Yeah.
It's a little GTA
Keeps
lobby
Keeps life
sometimes.
interesting, you know.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
But yeah, then I moved back here, and I honestly didn't expect to like Tampa post grad as much as I did.
Mm.
Like, I was kind of expecting to come back, like, hang out for a year or two, because I just spent so much time away from family that I really wanted to reconnect with family.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, you know, met people, and I was definitely, I'm, like, really enjoying the art scene and the music scene here more than I expected.
Yeah.
You know, started making some posters. All of a sudden,
Yeah, what?
start making
Tampa
posters,
Showcast.
and then making
Come on.
friends, and then,
Shout out
Showcast.com.
Tampa
and
Showcast.
then
Tampa
making
Showcast.com.
music, and then, yeah. So if you ever are looking for community, all you got to do is make a bunch of posters, go hand them out. And here's the thing. Don't get discouraged. Because most people will be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, I don't care. But then pretty soon somebody's going to be like, whoa, this is so cool.
One. It
You made
takes
this?
one.
And I'm going to be like, yeah, what about it? And they're going to be like, oh, this is cool. And then
It is cool.
Make a new friend.
Boom.
It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And needed, I think. You know?
That was a
This is
resource
what-
that did not
this is
exist.
what we were missing.
Yeah.
Me thinks.
You think that's what you're missing?
I think so.
And literally, it's a perfect example of, not the posters, but there was an account in Chicago called Chicago Show Count
Yeah.
that I got back, and I was like, wow, I wish we had that.
There you go.
And then I was like, hold on.
Yeah. It took going to Chicago and getting some inspiration. Then you came back with something to offer for Tampa.
Something
you know what I
to
mean?
offer.
It's awesome.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Just gonna keep making posters.
Making
Posters, making friends, making music.
Yes.
You know,
Making art.
That's all you need.
making podcasts.
Making
apparently.
life. Like.
Making
You know what I mean?
life.
Just making life.
Making life.
All right,
you know?
speaking of making life, Leah.
Yes, tell
If
me.
there was, what would you do if you could not fail?
What would I do if I couldn't fail? That's like an interesting question. I mean, I don't know. Not that I think that I'm gonna fail now, but I think I would want to keep doing this. Like, I think it'd feel the most aligned. Or I'd paint a little Picasso or something, or do a little dancey dance on TikTok and go viral with it.
Wait.
I'm so sorry.
Paint a Picasso?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, things that maybe I'm not good at now that I think could be cool to be good at. I don't know. Yeah, I guess just do this and have no fear of it. Like, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if I don't find, like, a job in this career, you know? So perhaps that, but I feel confident now that I can make something happen.
So
you
what is
know?
this? You said
This like well, I'd really like my goal being
a
in
podcast
school.
guest?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'd really just like
Keep
to
doing
spend
podcasts,
the
like-
night here, and like I was hoping it'd be cool. I brought a cot. Like, it's in my it's in my trunk. I was gonna ask after, but now that there's pressure, guys, with the cameras and all. Anyways, no, but by this I mean, like, I guess my ultimate goal career-wise, being in school for audio engineering, I want to do live sounds for sure. I think that's like my main kind of like thing that I'm trying to be successful at, find a job in. But I also would love to like be a recording engineer in a studio somewhere, because I really I love production. I think it's just something that I really need to learn more, and I don't feel confident enough offering those skills to people and like having them pay me to do it. I want to feel confident that I can like give them what they need. But in a more practical sense, I feel like I can do that as like an engineer, just like setup wise, and it's just more practical, and I feel pretty confident in that area of like studio recording and studio work. So probably that. I would like to be a recording engineer. I think that'd be awesome. Without fail, come on.
That'd be awesome.
Who could pass that up?
That'd be awesome.
And just like I think I just love being involved in like the creation of music in any way, any genre. Like, I'd be happy with it. It just feels good. You know what I mean? So doing that for sure. That's what this is.
I agree, especially being in this studio space and during this season, like making music with a bunch of different people. I have really felt the magic of making music, and it's never been the same. Like, we've done a couple rounds, like, they're all different genres, but every time the process is so fascinating to me. So I understand what you mean.
Especially like working with different people. I'm sure it's cool to like have people that have their niches or have their that's why when we started, I was like, do you have a process for this? Because I feel like everyone has like a different way of approaching creating in general, but like specifically music. Like, I don't know, all my friends like start in a different place and end somewhere beautiful. It's just about the journey. You know what I mean?
It's about the friends you make along the way.
Yeah, it's about the friends you make along the way. Exactly.
Yeah, I think in a setting like this, the way we've been doing it, and definitely the way I like to work when I'm producing for somebody, is to kind of let go of as much as possible and just build it around whoever the artist is, because I think if I were to have too rigid of a process of like, I'm going to use these certain drums and these certain plugins,
put you in a box.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. I don't want people to feel like if they're working with me, they have to do a certain style.
For sure.
Like if I only make a certain type of beats, or like I only play bass, or I only, it's nice to be able to just start from scratch and build around the artist.
Right.
I think especially too, like kind of the opposite of adhering to a certain style, where I want to hear their voice on something they've never done before.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's fun. It's fun making stuff from scratch.
Oh yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
And I think kind of the enjoyment of the process of creating music, for me, I think is underrated compared to the end product. I feel like people that spend like 8 months mixing a song, or like, they spent years going back to it, cleaning it up, like there's definitely a role for that, and there's a level of quality that you have to do that for.
For sure.
But I also think the enjoyment and just the freshness and the rawness of just spending 2 hours and seeing what happens,
Definitely.
I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
That makes sense. I feel like that's something I'm learning to do, is like not take it so seriously and be like, well, this is not how I want it to sound, so I'm just going to sit on it for 3 years and not do anything with it. I don't know. I feel like I just get in my own head about it, and I think too critically about things. And I feel like I'm recently starting to like or at least try and be conscious of like, how hard am I thinking about this? Or like, how much am I overthinking about this? You know what I mean? Like, I can let go a little bit and not take it so seriously, And that goes for life, You don't have to take things so seriously.
Yeah.
Unless it's necessary for sure, guys.
Some things are serious.
Some things are serious, and they should be, but also some things I think we need to I need to
calm down.
Calm down, son.
Calm down, brother.
Calm down, son. I'm so sorry if that was loud.
The creative process
yeah.
is definitely a good metaphor for life.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you got to lock in.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
most of the time it's just about enjoying the journey there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Quote that.
Quote that. Put that on a t-shirt.
All right, so I think we're going to open a studio. That's what I'm hearing.
Listen. Can I tell you guys?
That's also my
Can I
dream,
tell you guys?
so.
Like, this is like a
Leah exclusive?
You want to go halfsies?
This is not like a dream. This isn't like. It's something that's just like in the back of my mind, but like some kind of multi-purposeful space that is like multiple different forms of art can be made. Like it can be. There's like I'm picturing like a big building, right? There's probably a studio. There's some kind of like art studio. There's space for live events. There's, I don't know. I'm just like, it's something I've thought about, and I think it could be cool.
Dude, I have an idea that's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, the idea is it's 2 floors.
Kay.
The first floor is a cafe. Like cafe, lounge,
yes,
chill, sit, sip, just have a conversation. And then second floor is recording studio.
Yes.
But then the concept is like they're both under the same ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is you get the studio to a point where there's like a strong enough base of clients that it's making good money.
Right.
And then the cafe, you can like kind of just have fun and throw events and do silly stuff and not have to worry about it being like having really good margins.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also doubles as like if you're waiting on one of the studios to open up, or like you just had a session and you just want to hang out.
Yeah.
No,
and
that's
awesome.
And then imagine you build it to a place where like all these really cool artists are working on music there.
Mm-hmm.
And then people will be like, oh, we got to go to so Cafe because Leah hangs out there.
Yeah, and and in that sense, like doing like live events where it's like, oh, these artists that work in the studio, they're having a little thing at this cafe, at the cafe downstairs.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what it's called, the cafe downstairs.
The cafe downstairs.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyway, that's
Listen.
yeah. Sometimes when I bring that up, then the conversation turns into like, oh yeah, and there can also be pottery and art and
right.
But that would be the realm that I like. Maybe there's more stuff, but I feel like I can't conceptualize all that together.
Right.
For me, I think the
is...
interaction between like the recording studio and the cafe would be cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, and I feel like there's not a lot like it. Like, I know I'm probably lying completely. I don't know anything. It's never been done before, so you should
That
really.
That is a completely new idea.
Yeah.
That no one has ever thought about that.
Who came up with that? Huh?
Trademark
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Bring people together in
But for
multiple
now,
different ways. You know,
this is the studio right here.
Yeah,
This
for
is
now
the-
this
and
is
this is
right
it.
there.
This
right
is
there.
it. And we
stay tuned.
we actually have been plotting to like turn this into like a proper recording studio as well.
AJ was telling me that you should. I feel like it's
The space
good
is
space
the
for
space
it.
is ripe. It's
know?
it is a good space for it, and it's exciting because I know there's two things in my brain about it.
right.
I would love to do that because we're already doing that in a sense, right? So it would be nice to have like an actual setup where everything is here already. We're not porting back materials and equipment all over the place, and have a place where people can come and they can hang out and we can make music and stuff. The other part of it is like, this is also my home.
Yes.
Like my bed is right there.
Right.
So that also it doesn't bother me because I know this is like where it's at, and it's gonna be like invite only. Like it's not just gonna be a bunch of randos coming to my house.
Book in your home.
Yeah, and just hanging out here. It's not gonna be like that. So I'm not super worried about it, but it makes me excited because I like the super big ideas and the things. So it makes me excited because I'm like, if we can get this going and like actually get it to a good place, then like expanding it to a space that isn't my home is very exciting to me.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
in the works.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Harbor some people in a creative way.
Is that Obama?
And I'm Obama. It's gonna be really great.
Proof of your studio.
He has a bedroom in his studio, and
The Denhoff podcast.
and
My fellow podcasters.
my fellow Changhoffers. No, I support.
Don't spoil that Obama's coming on the podcast. We can't.
Guys,
Yeah, no.
Bleep that part out, okay? Don't let them know.
you heard nothing. Obama.
Yeah, so Jacob.
So, Jacob.
Thank you for
Tell
inviting me
about
into your
yourself.
home.
I'd really like to lay down some beats right now. I'd really like to hop on the track.
Yeah, I enjoyed the song we made today.
Michelle's doing ad libs.
I've always told Michelle I had bars, and
And now I can prove it to her. I've never been given. Okay, the bit's over.
back in my day in the White House vocal booth.
Yes. In the Oval Office.
Leah, I think you could do some stand-up comedy.
I appreciate you. I could never do that.
Why not?
Because you have to like plan it out, and I'm just like, I can't be funny if I'm trying to be funny.
Then don't
like
try.
with the. But what am I gonna go up and say? Hey y'all.
I'm Obama.
Okay, let's try. Let's try.
It's Obama here.
Let's imagine. Okay, you do have to stand up. And the next comedian coming to the stage. She's funny when she doesn't try to be. It's Leah.
Woo! Cha 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 cha.
Hey guys. Hey. How's everyone doing tonight?
Woo!
Y'all ever had airplane food? So airplane food, am I right? And with that, I'm gone. Thank you.
That was a great set. Woo! That was a great set. I would go to that.
Very nice.
Don't lie to my face.
I'm here. We're in the audience.
Thank you guys. You know
Would you
what?
try? Have you tried stand up?
I really don't think I would try.
Where do you even go here? Is there stand up around?
Yeah, there's
Spitfire?
a few stand-up comedy clubs in the area.
My brother would be really good at stand-up. He's a funny guy. And
Has he tried?
He hasn't tried, but he wants to. He's like written stuff down in his notes. I don't know. I think it's too much for me.
Let's try. I'll try if you try. If we all try, does that make it better?
If we all go to a...
Yeah, we all go and sign up.
We would have to all be on stage. What if we did like...
Three Stooges act?
Yeah. That's all that I know from Three Stooges.
Wait, you mean all together?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying we'd all have to be
Let's
together?
do a bit.
No, I think we all write a little...
I would
maybe
like to do...
we should run this through, like, maybe at a mahjong night we can, like, make it, like...
Yeah, we can run some
bring
bits.
Bring a set, bring a comedy set.
Bring a joke.
Bring a joke.
Bring a minute. Do a minute.
Now we're just brainstorming on the podcast, live on pod.
Yeah, don't no one steal these ideas.
All right, let's see. I want to end on like a nice question, like a good question. Usually I come a little bit more prepared, but I was like, yeah, we're just gonna have conversation and just go for it.
Here we are.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. We're at a cool 56 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies in good company.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I wonder what it feels like to just listen to the looser brainstormy sections. I feel like I kind of enjoy that. It's just riffing. Like,
I enjoy that in podcasts. I
Yeah.
feel like it's fun. It's, it's lighthearted.
Yeah, I definitely can tell that this is the funniest podcast that we've had so far. So.
Shut the hell up.
It's true.
Thank you.
More laughter in this podcast than all the other ones combined, probably.
Lots of laughter.
Can we get a fact check?
Can we? Yeah, someone fact
Jamie?
check that.
Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, is that the editor?
That's Joe Rogan's.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's a Joe Rogan reference.
you're talking.
You wouldn't get it.
You're talking to Jamie.
You're talking to Joe Rogan. Anyways,
I mean, if Joe Rogan could do stand-up.
does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, a lot of people do it that shouldn't.
That's what I'm saying, though. If he can do it, like...
We can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it. I think you could do it.
Guys. You guys make me feel funnier than I feel I am. And I appreciate that.
I mean, it depends. I think...
We make you feel as funny
Doesn't it
as you
just-
are.
It comes down to connecting to people. You know?
That's true. And I think I feel comfortable around you guys and, like, around all of our friends and stuff. So I feel more, like, loosey-goosey. I'm just going to spit off the dome.
Yeah.
I'm going to just let my ADHD roam free. You know what I mean?
And it hits.
Yeah, I'm glad.
The
I'm
crowd
glad.
enjoys.
Yeah. Does it hit as good as the Galaxy gas, though?
Oh, nothing hits as good as the
Whoa.
Galaxy gas.
Y'all
Leave
know
that
about the
one out.
Galaxy
that thing
gas?
that thing is one step underneath
Guys.
fentanyl.
Oh.
Whoa.
Guys,
Anyway.
I'm so sorry. We don't endorse Galaxy gas.
Or fentanyl.
Or fentanyl.
Unless it's given to you by the hospital.
That happened to me. I got into a car accident and they gave me fentanyl.
Do you remember what it was like?
And it freaked me out. She's like, I'm just going to give you some, like, as she's putting it in me. And I'm like, after like 15 seconds, I felt dizzy and I got really scared.
Ooh.
It was fine, though. So.
Okay. I'm glad you're okay.
What is a book
Oh.
that has really impacted your life?
Ooh. Oh my god. This is just the first one that comes to mind. I just always recommend this book, and I feel like I pulled a lot from it. It's called One Italian Summer. It's about this girl who's like supposed to go on this trip to Italy with her mom. It's like a planned out trip, and her mom passes, unfortunately. And she kind of has this thing of like debating on if she still wants to go or not, and she decides to go. And while she's there in Italy, she keeps having these experiences of meeting her mom when her mom was like 20, in her 20s. So she's like meeting her mom at her younger self. And she just like gets to know her mom in a different way that she never really did. And I don't know, it just really like made me think about it. Like, I feel like I don't know my parents as much as like they are their own selves, if that makes sense. I feel like when you become a parent, it's like, I don't know, I feel like often you're not paid attention to for like who you are as much as like what you're doing for your kids or whatever. So
And
I
especially
was
by
also,
your kids.
by the way, yeah, exactly. And I was also on a cruise with my mom and my brother, so I was reading this and just like there were moments I would get frustrated with her, but like I was reading this book at the same time, and it was really helping me like she's me. You know what I mean? Like, not literally, but like one day, like, I could and probably will be in her position of like tending to other people. And I don't know, it's like it's interesting. I recommend people read it.
One Italian Summer. It's a beautiful book, and I just love the concept of it, of like her seeing her mom at this younger age and like who she was and like knowing her in that way, and also just like kind of through it gaining a different relationship with her. You know what I mean? Even though it's not real. You don't know that.
I don't know it, and you're right, I don't. But yes, I think that book, that one stays like in my head, you know. It's one that will stick with me. I think I've read books that are good, but like I won't name drop.
Yeah.
I'd say that, but now you guys have to answer too before we go.
Okay, Jacob, go.
Okay, a book that has really impacted my life.
The Bible. Joking. I should have said that.
The Bible. A book that recently, the most recent book that really impacted my life was this book called Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guiarda, and he is a restaurateur. He worked in like some of the best restaurants like in the entire world, definitely in the United States for sure. And the premise of the book was the culture of this restaurant that he was running and a part of, called 11 Madison Park, where everyone lived by this mantra of unreasonable hospitality. So they would just do anything and everything to make the experience for the guests as amazing as possible. But he also really tied it into life in general, and how can you be like unreasonably hospitable to the other people in your life.
Wow, yeah.
And it really impacted me, and for like a good month I was just like really in that mindset and like helping people out and stuff. So I need to reread it because it's been kind of like declining in my forethought, but that's probably been the most impactful book that I've read in recent times.
That's really interesting. It reminds me of that episode of The Bear, Forks.
He is an
like
executive. He's an executive producer of The Bear.
That makes sense.
And that scene or that show or that episode or whatever is like from the book.
Yeah, it's a good, like, I don't know, it's a good idea, you know. Just
I recommend that.
I gotta read both of those still.
Yeah,
I gotta read yours.
I'm intrigued to read that for sure. What is Unreasonable Hospitality?
Yes, Unreasonable Hospitality.
Noted.
One Italian Summer.
And you, sir?
All right, I'm gonna do an interesting one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I read this book maybe like 2 years ago, and then I came back to it. But it's this book called The Ethical Slut, and it's an interesting book. It's changed over the different versions. I guess the earlier versions were more about basically just like maintaining a polyamorous relationship. But over the years they like got a lot of feedback and changed it. But it's co-authored by 3 women who are all in a relationship together. One's a sex therapist, one is like a college professor on sexuality, I forget the third, but they talk about all these different topics. They talk all about all different relationship types, all about it's a very wide-ranging book, but the interesting thing about it is most of the advice and the techniques and just the philosophies like kind of apply to just all the relationships in your life, like not necessarily like obviously a polyamorous romantic relationship is like a very specific thing that most people don't want to do and most people won't enjoy. But just the idea of like, even when you think about your friends and family, you have all of these people in your life that you love. And the idea of like, I don't know, just being available to these people in different ways, like having clear boundaries on what you expect from someone and what they should expect from you. And I guess just like managing everyone's expectations. And
that sounds very interesting.
It was really interesting though. Yeah, it definitely like changed the way I thought about relationships for sure, but also just about my friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is like the main point of that book for you? That like if you had to take away just only one concept from the book, what would that be?
I think a big thing I got, and shortly after I reread that this past year, I also read All About Love by Bell Hooks. So I had like a big rethinking love phase. But I think one big thing is a lot of people place their primary romantic partner on this pedestal, where you need to treat them differently than everyone else in your life. Right. Which to some extent you do. Like if you're going to commit yourself to a partner, that kind of comes with different expectations. But I think realizing that there should be a lot in common between your primary romantic relationship and like just the way you treat the people you love in your life.
For sure.
Whether that means like being affectionate towards people who are your platonic friends, like, or sometimes like being a little more casual, a little more guard down with someone who you might be really trying to impress or please. But yeah, like there's definitely a difference, but I think it's okay to blur that line sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
I think too, a lot of people place their hopes in the fulfillment that'll come from their romantic relationship. And then, and then you get into it and it's like, oh, I'm still, you're like, wait, I'm still lonely, or wait, I'm still sad, or I'm still, yeah. Well, that's a big conversation, but.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting though.
But yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah.
Love comes in many different forms.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Very interesting, guys. I'm going to have to read both of those books.
Yeah, I'll have to read One Italian Summer as
both
well.
of those very, very much
I'm gonna
piqued
have
my
to
interest.
Read Ethical Slut. You've mentioned it to me in the past.
Yeah, I do. I don't often bring it up because it definitely comes with a lot of implications.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
And like I will say, there are chapters on group sex, so be ready for that. But
yeah, heard.
There's a lot of.
Take what you want from it.
Yeah, I mean, you can skip around. You can skip around.
Right.
Yeah. Certain things do, like there's a whole section on just managing arguments in a relationship. And one of the authors, Dossie, has this concept that you should have like basically a word that you say.
A safe word.
But kind of like a safe word that you take a break from the argument and you spend 5 minutes drawing with pastels.
Okay.
And then at the end of the 5 minutes, you resume the argument.
I feel like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's needed to come back with just... I feel like it's easy to get so lost in the heat of an argument.
Yeah.
Taking time. Drawing
also
with some
jealousy.
pastels.
There's so much about just breaking down jealousy.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah.
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 Interesting.
I could talk about that stuff all day.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to me.
It is.
It really is. It really is.
Then just join our book podcast. Come in.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not coming. But thank you so much, Leah, for coming
Thank
on,
you guys.
being a part of the Chang podcast, making music with us.
Thank you so much.
And
it's been a great experience.
Yeah, I
Very
really
happy.
enjoyed this conversation. I've been looking forward to this one, and I'm glad that it went very well.
Me too. It's been lovely. You guys are some lovely men. Don't come often. So I appreciate you guys a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if it's just Chang and Hoff, it's a yapping duet.
Boom, boom, boom.
Hey.
That's the outro.
All
Well,
right.
no, there's more to that than the outro, but actually that's the intro music. This was the Chang Hoff podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you. I love what I do, and I love being able to say that. And this is just an amazing thing. So follow us on everything. Follow Leah on Instagram. Leah, what's your Instagram? Shout it out. Spell it out.
At Leah Ivelise.
I think that's gonna
that is
not be- I don't think
LeaHivelise. Leah Ivelise.
Leah Ivelise. Follow Leah on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Changhoff, CHANGHOFF. Follow AJ on Instagram at AJ Denhoff, AJDENHOFF. Follow me on Instagram at JQCOB. I'm JQCub. Go to changhoff.com. Go to citrusound.com.
Tampa SoCal.
TampaSoCal.com. We got it all. Thank you guys so much for watching again.
And Changhoff Mixtape Listening Party, end of the season. More details to come.
More details to come.
Be on the
Changhoff
lookout.
Listening Party for the mixtape. It's coming soon. I'm really excited for it. We could talk about it all day, but that's where we're going to end.
And now that everyone's gone, does anybody have a secret they want to tell?
Ooh, a secret?
Yeah. Everyone's gone already. There's nobody left.
Yeah.
If you're still here, you got to get out of here. Can you get out of here, please?
Can you guys leave real quick?
We're trying to have a private conversation.
Bro.
Thank you.
Oh, creepy.
So.
Guys, I shit myself 5 minutes into the podcast.
No way.
I've been sitting on shit.
All right, I'm calling it.